Name is Jacob Kuykendall. Welcome to NEC Civil Survival's National Expungement Week set of webinars. I'm presenting tonight on the process of vacating your felony conviction. I'm just going to wait a couple minutes while people trickle in. We're also streaming now on Facebook Live, so welcome to everybody watching from there. And also welcome anybody who watched me last night who's coming back to watch this presentation. A lot of the material will be the same, but I'm going to try and do my best to call out places where vacating felonies is different than vacating misdemeanors. For those of you watching on Zoom, I'm going to paste a link to all the materials and the court forms, copy of this PowerPoint that I've made available on Google Drive, as well as my email address. So if you have any questions or thoughts after this presentation, you can reach out to me directly. It might take me a little while to get back to everybody, but I will do my best to respond to everyone in the order that I get questions. Let's dive into this a little bit. First of all, I am going to save a lot of time at the end for answering questions, but if you have questions as I'm presenting, try and put those in the chat box as opposed to the Q&A box. Those get saved better on our end, and Corey will be on here kind of monitoring what the chat and the Q&A. I think if there's anything else I want to make sure to say here. The other thing I want to tell you about this presentation, just like the one last night, the process of vacating a conviction is a fairly big and complicated area of law. So I'm not going to dive into some of the detail stuff. I may not cover the specifics of your situation. What I want to do is make this presentation something that will help as you are working through a lot of the guides and resources that are available online. There's a lot of materials out there. Some of that is linked in the Google Drive that I'm sharing. Some of that is available on our website. I'm hoping to provide some advice that will complement that. So let me share my screen real quick and we get into it. Okay, so here's what you should know about vacating felonies. So here's a quick overview of what I'm going to be talking about tonight. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the Civil Survival Project is, who I am, what it is we're doing. There'll be a quick disclaimer about the presentation tonight. I will talk about what is vacating and expungement. We're going to spend some time talking about the eligibility requirements to vacating your felony conviction. These eligibility requirements are different than misdemeanors. I'll go over the motions and orders, basically the paperwork you need to file in order to do this. Copies of all that paperwork are provided by the Washington State court system, and they are linked. You can also get those on the Washington Court Forms website. I'm going to talk about how to set a hearing, the game plan, some advice I have about going to a hearing, putting your best foot forward, having your best shot at succeeding in a hearing, some general tips about the process, and then again, links to the resources I use to make this presentation, resources that should be helpful, guides on how to do this, and then finally, a lot of time saved at the end to answer questions and my contact info. So let's get into it. Who are we? Who am I? Civil Survival. We are a nonprofit that focuses on organizing people who have been directly impacted by the criminal justice system. We help them build connections, gain knowledge, increase political participation. As part of that, a new part of that, the reason that I'm here today is we are launching a legal aid program to help educate and share legal resources statewide, across Washington State, for people who are impacted by the system. Me personally, my name is Jacob Kuykendall. I'm the newest staff attorney here at Civil Survival. This push to expand our legal aid resources, to folks trying to do things like waive legal financial obligations that the other staff attorney, Sarai, had presented on Tuesday, how to vacate convictions, get certificates of discharge, kind of the reentry post-conviction side of criminal law. There's a picture of me before the pandemic, and I grew this beard. My hair grew out all long and crazy. So here's a quick disclaimer. Please note that although I'm a practicing attorney and I'm presenting this workshop, this is not meant to be legal advice. As such, please keep any questions as general as possible. That is as much for the sake of the other people who are watching as for myself. This presentation only serves to provide general legal information and does not constitute legal advice. Moreover, these attorneys, me, will not be representing you in court or providing further services. Short version of that is I'm an attorney, but I'm not your attorney. And like I said before, this is a really big topic. There is a lot of stuff. The process varies on vacating convictions from court to court, from judge to judge, from conviction to conviction, from person to person. I'm not going to be able to tell you exactly what to do in your situation, so I want to give you a nice overview and give you some strategies so that you can be in a good position to figure some of these questions out for yourself. So let's start with, what is vacating? What does expungement mean? First thing I want to highlight is, if you Google search, how do I get rid of a conviction? How do I clean up my background record? You're going to see the word expungement used all over the place, which is probably a better word for it. But here in Washington State, the courts, the law calls it vacating. You vacate your conviction. And what that means is you've received a court order, you've received an order from a judge that removes a conviction, an eligible conviction, from appearing on criminal background checks. And this is often the more important part, it gives you the legal right to tell people you were never convicted of that crime. So the Washington State Patrol in our state, they maintain a statewide database of criminal records that is the same database that third-party background check companies, like the kind that a potential employer might use if you applied for a job, or a potential landlord would use. They get their information from these third-party background check companies, and the third-party background check companies get their information from the Washington State Patrol. If you vacate a conviction and you get that order is sent to the State Patrol, and the State Patrol basically takes that record that they're sharing and marks it as private. It still exists, the State Patrol can still see it, but when those other background check companies go and look up your record for your landlord, they don't get those records anymore. It kind of disappears out of this process. This means for most people, this is going to stop those convictions that have been vacated from preventing you from getting a job, from getting housing, from volunteering at your kid's school. Now, I should also highlight, there's some stuff it doesn't do. It does not remove those court records. It doesn't seal anything. It doesn't delete anything. So what this means is those records of the conviction are still out there in the court docket. You can still go to the courthouse and get them. And a lot of times those are public records that anybody can get. So there are situations, they're not very common, but there are situations where you can vacate a conviction, but it can still show up in places. Most commonly, if you vacate a conviction but then applied to go work as like a police officer, they're probably going to get their records right from the court systems directly, and vacating's not going to help you there. What vacating does is kind of cover the most ground for the least amount of work, because most employers aren't going to see it. Most landlords are not going to see it. Basically, like I said here, it makes it less accessible to the general public. And that in order to vacate a conviction, you need to be eligible. There are certain types of convictions that are not eligible and certain types of convictions that are. If you watched last night, the misdemeanor presentation I gave, this is probably the biggest difference, because the rules for felonies are very different than the ones for misdemeanors. In order to be eligible to vacate your felony conviction, here are the general rules that you need to have covered. One, the conviction needs to have occurred after July 1st, 1974. There are different rules that apply before that date. In my experience, I've done a lot of vacating work in King County. This doesn't come up very often, and if it did, I suspect you probably a very similar process, but different laws apply. The other big one is you cannot vacate any Class A felonies, just full stop. You can only vacate Class B and Class C felonies. Only certain types of convictions are eligible. Generally, it's no sexual offenses and no serious violent offenses. There is a list in the materials of specifically which ones. Generally, if there's a deadly weapon or a firearm involved in a violent offense, it's not going to be eligible. Also, DUIs or driving under the influence, those are not eligible. For most people, if they took some sort of plea agreement or negotiated settlement, those DUIs were changed to like a reckless driving charge. Those are eligible. Steps you have to fulfill to make those eligible to vacate. Here's the big one, the biggest difference. In order to vacate a felony, you need to have a certificate of discharge. When I talked about misdemeanors last night, the thing I mentioned is, okay, it needs to have been a certain amount of time has passed since you've completed your obligations. The difference is with felonies, you actually get a form called a certificate of discharge, a court order basically that says you've completed all your obligations. In order to get that, you need to have completed all your sentence obligations. That means you've finished your probation, you finished your anger management class, you finished paying off your fines. However, the difference here is that you haven't paid off your fines, and then you pay off your fines later, the certificate of discharge gets backdated to whenever you completed the non-financial requirements. So you can pay off your fines later and become eligible right away. That doesn't slow you down, but you can't get the certificate of discharge unless you paid off your fines. The other thing to point out about this is if, like most people, you don't have your certificate of discharge, you can request that with basically the same stack of paperwork that you're filing with everything else. So when we go into the paperwork section up next, a lot of times for most of the clients I've worked with in the past, you're requesting the certificate of discharge at the same time you're making a motion asking the court to vacate your conviction. Requirement number 5, a number of years need to have passed since the completion of obligations. Basically, since you became eligible for that certificate of discharge. For most Class C felonies, that's 5 years. For most Class Bs, that's 10 years. And again, your certificate of discharge gets backdated to when you did all your non-financial stuff. So you still have to pay off your fines, but the date goes back. And then number 6, you can't have any recent convictions or pending charges. This is the same timeline as with the time since completion. So if you've had another conviction within the last 5 years, you're not eligible to vacate any of your Class C felonies. This can get kind of funny for folks if you have a mix of convictions because be eligible and one might not be because some are looking at 5-year periods and some are looking at 10-year periods. A good question that was asked last night that I think I need to stress here is that when it comes to figuring out if a conviction is eligible, what you want to do is look at each conviction individually. So if you're somebody who has a record and you've got 4 convictions on it, some might be eligible and some might not be, and you can vacate the ones that are eligible, and the ones that are not will stay on your record. Maybe they become eligible later, but they generally will not block each other, thanks to the New Hope Act that passed in 2018. Okay, so let me talk about the paperwork. This is going to sound very similar for those of you who were here last night. In order to vacate a conviction, you're going to need to fill out some paperwork. You need to make a motion, which is a request to the judge, request to a judge in the court where you had your conviction. Sorry, my cat's getting very hungry now. Asking the judge and explaining why you're eligible. That's your motion. And you're going to need to file a court order that the judge is going to sign saying this conviction is vacated. Recommendation, you need to fill out this motion and declaration. It's a single form. It's included in the materials. Fill it out in advance before you file it. For the order, you're just filling out the top section, the section that's got your name, it's got the case number, it's got which court this is in, and then on the last page, there's like a signature block that you're going to sign. These get filed with the clerk of the same court where the case took place. Since we're talking about felony convictions, that means it's going to be in Superior Court, wherever that was. And also, one of these differences with felonies, like I said, you need that certificate of discharge. So if you don't have yours, you're going to file a motion and order requesting that at the same time. Depending on which court you're in, you're probably going to need to file a note for a hearing, which will go into the next slide. But that is basically reserving a time slot for you to talk to a judge, to have them look over your motion and determine whether they're going to sign it. Okay, so let's talk about scheduling a hearing, notifying the prosecutor. Just a second. Okay, so in order to have your conviction vacated, you need to schedule time for the judge to review it, which means you will need to note your motion to be heard. That's what they call scheduling that hearing. But judges often have set times when they hear certain types of motions, so they can hear all the cases from the same type at the same time. This is true almost certainly in the superior courts where they have really large number of cases that they're looking at. So what you need to do in order to note a hearing, to set some time on the schedule for the judge to read over your motion, you need to call the clerk where you were sentenced and ask for a date and time available for a motion to vacate. Then that's when you're going to fill out the notice of hearing form. Usually, I know, well, I guess my experience is in King County Superior Court. They have a criminal law clerk who's the person you're going to call for this. Then you're going to fill out the motion, you're going to fill out the order, you're going to fill out the notice of the hearing, you're going to fill out that motion and order for a certificate of discharge if you need one. All those get filed at the court clerk's office, and you need to provide a copy of all those documents to the prosecutor. So the way that this works is, since you're the one who is making this request to have a conviction vacated, the work here is all on you, unfortunately. So you have to fill out all this paperwork, and you need to make sure that a copy is filed so the judge has a copy of everything. And it's your job to make sure the prosecutor gets a copy of everything that they can look over before the hearing. I'll talk a little bit about at the hearing what you should do with your own paperwork. Now, one rules are all different, so I can't give you a lot of advice on your individual situation. So what you want to do in order to notify the prosecutor is, I usually ask the clerk, hey, who's the prosecutor for these motions? Do you have their email address? This is also often available online on the court's website, but you probably are going to want to call the prosecutor's office and say, hey, what's the best way I can get you these documents, how I can serve these. One other thing that makes this more complicated is because of the pandemic, a lot of the normal rules of how things are served, how the courts are operating are all changed right now. There are, in times before the pandemic, it wouldn't be uncommon to go to a courthouse and file this stuff. My guess is the court clerk and the prosecutor's office is going to tell you, no, please email or mail this to us. The other thing I wanted to highlight, especially for folks who were listening last night, is in my experience, especially in King County, because the Superior Court prosecutors see a lot more cases and see a lot more of this work. They're generally more on the ball. They generally have more of a process in place. So in King County Superior Court, their prosecutor's office has set up an email address specifically for receiving post-conviction stuff like requests for vacates, like certificates of discharge. And they'll ask you, please just email us a copy of everything. We will look it over. In King County, at least, if they agree to the judge for you. That may not be the case in many of the other counties, but that is a good reason for you to reach out and call the prosecutor's office ahead of time, because it might save you a lot of work and time with this process if they have a system that they like to use. But let's say that you're in a place where you're going to need to set a hearing, and now you've set it, the dates come up. Let me give you some general tips, some pointers about what to do at a hearing. I shared this anecdote last night as well, but before I worked in legal aid, I was an attorney in private practice doing all kinds of stuff. Traffic ticket defense. So I was in court all day, every day, representing like taxi drivers and like long haul truckers in traffic tickets. And if you've ever tried to go argue a traffic ticket, you'll know that most people don't hire an attorney for that. A lot of the folks I was seeing were people representing themselves, and I've seen a lot of the real common mistakes people make when they're not in court all the time, because most people aren't in court all the time. So here's some advice to try and avoid some of these common mistakes. Number one, it is totally okay to be nervous. You're probably going to be nervous. I'm nervous when I'm in court, basically every time. Everyone's nervous except the prosecutor and the judge and the bailiff, because they're in that same courtroom every day. Everybody else, the folks who are just there once in a while, they're nervous. They don't know what's going to happen, and they don't know what the prosecutor or judge is like. That said, you should be very polite and very respectful to everyone in court, even if they aren't to you, and some of them probably won't be polite or respectful to you. You want the judge to do something for you that they don't have to do. And because of that, you want to be super nice to them and super nice to their staff and super nice to the prosecutor, because if they like you, your chances are a lot better and it's going to go a lot smoother for you. Even if they are jerks to you or they're not a good judge, chances are you are going to get a lot further if you are nicer to them than they are to you. If the prosecutor is supportive, if they say, hey, great, you look eligible, no problem, I'm going to sign this, that's terrific. It'll probably help you. If they're not, and some of them won't be, don't sweat it, because ultimately the judge is the person you need to convince and who will decide. I have been in situations where the prosecutor has been very supportive, and I've been in situations where the prosecutor does not want to vacate someone's conviction. And in both those situations, it all came down to the judge. I've had situations where the prosecutor said, great, I think this should be vacated and we're going to sign it, and the judge still didn't want to do it. So the thing you wanted, the person you're focused on is whoever the judge is. Now, a lot of times, if you're eligible, the judge may just look it over and go, great, you're eligible, I'm going to sign this. Or, oh, there's some problem with the paperwork, I'm not going to sign this today. But some judges may want to ask you questions about the motion, may want to get you on the record saying something, have a hearing where they are going to ask you like, oh, why are you here today? And this is, I think, the biggest area where folks who are not in court as often as attorneys are, this is where they can get in their own way. So here are the three things that you absolutely need to cover and you should focus on if the judge says, why are you here today? Can you introduce yourself? What's this motion about? I try and focus on these three. Number one, you want to tell the judge what you want. This seems obvious, but for some judges, this is really important. What you want is that you need to state, look, I am here today to ask you to vacate such and such conviction. I'm here with a motion to vacate. I'm here asking that my client's vacate motion is granted. Tell the judge what it is you want them to do. Number two, remind the judge that the law allows this to happen. The important part here is, I would like you to vacate this conviction. I am eligible because 10 years have passed since completing my obligation, or I am requesting a certificate of discharge, and once that is entered, I'm eligible to have this conviction vacated. Just make sure you put on the record, clarify, this is why the law allows the judge to sign this. And then the last thing is remind the judge of why they should do it, why you want this in the first place. You know, Your Honor, this conviction is the person I was when I got this conviction. I really need a better place to live. I need to move out of my apartment. These kind of things are persuasive and they are important. One of the things that I saw, especially with traffic tickets, that would get people in trouble is the first thing they would talk about is, well, you know, I got this conviction, but it wasn't fair because X, Y, and Z, or, you know, I got this conviction and it was really bad, but then this thing happened. But you need to focus on why you're there today. The reason you're there is you want this conviction vacated, you are eligible to have it vacated, and the judge should do it. It's a good thing for the judge to do. It's a moral or ethical thing for the judge to sign. The last thing, this happens a lot. It's happened to me lots of times. They say, I didn't get your paperwork on time, or I got some of your paperwork, but it's not filled out correctly. Don't sweat it. You can always try again. You just say, you know, thank you, Your Honor. I will refile it. I'll file it again today. I'm going to go talk to the prosecutor about how I can fix this. You can always try again with these motions to vacate. The thing is, you will probably end up right in front of that same judge with that same prosecutor. So if you are grumpy about it and the judge gets annoyed with you, they're going to probably remember that next time. You don't want them to remember you. Just take the advice, even if it sucks, and you just have to move on and say, okay, I'll refile it, no problem. Because what you want to do is just make it so they're the easiest person that judges talk to today. So let me cover a few more pointers. These are just generally about the vacating process. Number one, the clerk is your new best friend. I know I talked about at a hearing why it's so important for the folks in that courtroom, all the people who are there every day, to like you, for you to be respectful and polite to them. The court clerk, this applies to them too. They are the folks who are going to be able to give you the information you need. And this is true for me as well. You know, I've been in court lots and lots of times, but I don't know what the rules are in any individual court. Even ones I've been in a lot of times, sometimes I'll forget, or the rules will change, or right now all the rules are up in the air. The person who's going to know what the process is like is the court clerk. And the reason for that is they're the administrator in what time to set your motion to. If they like you, they may even say, oh, you know what, normally we only take these by mail, but it's a slow day, you can just email these. If they like you, there's a lot more help they can give you. And if they don't like you, they're going to want to get off the phone with you pretty quick. Some clerks are nice, some clerks aren't nice, but either way, they are going to be the best resource for you. They're also going to be a great resource if you're in a situation where the judge says no to you because of a technicality. The prosecutor is definitely not going to give you an advice, but the clerk, if they like you, they might. You can also email me if you end up in that situation, and I can try and give you some support. Another tip is file everything all at once, send everything to the prosecutor all at once, schedule everything all at once. So what I mean by that is this may involve a lot of paperwork for you. You've got this motion to vacate, you've got the order, you've got a note for hearing, you might have a motion for a certificate of discharge and an order for that. And it might be tempting to fill those out and then file them as you get them done. So you file 2 of the paper documents on Tuesday and 3 more on Wednesday, and then send to the prosecutor on Thursday. For your own sake, I recommend don't do that. Just save everything up and send it all in on Thursday. The reason for this is totally practical, which is that the court systems are not always that great about tracking paper. And if you file everything all at once, it's much more likely to all get to the right person at the same time. I don't know how many times I've filed stuff, shown up to court, and the judge or the prosecutor says, "Oh, I never saw that, I never got it." And there's no way to know if that was my mistake or theirs. If you file everything all at once, if you send it all at the same time, it makes it a lot easier because they probably are going to get that paperwork all together. That also leads into my next advice here, which is if you have multiple convictions in the same court, you're going to need to fill out paperwork, separate paperwork, unfortunately, for each case. But if you file that all at the same time, you can generally get those all heard at the same time. And the prosecutor and the judge are really going to appreciate that you did it this way, because when they go look at your record to see if you're eligible and they go look up information about you, they only have to do that one time if you have filed all your cases at the same time. Sometimes this is not possible. I understand it's a lot of paperwork. Sometimes it's just a headache. But if you can do it this way, you have a lot better shot of getting all of this done all at once and getting it done a lot faster. Last piece of advice, or next piece of advice, and I want to stress this one. It is okay to get frustrated with this process. It is a terrible, confusing process, and it's really meant to be hard and confusing. This type of post-conviction work, things like motions to vacate or certificates of discharge, are usually the lowest priority issue that anybody in the court system you're going to be interacting with deals with. Some courts are better than others. Like I said, in King County, they have like a team dedicated to this, but most courts, they don't. And if you're a Superior Court prosecutor, your concerns are probably the recent cases, the recent arrests. So this is gonna be their low priority. That said, this is on you to get it done. They're probably not gonna go out of their way to work on your case. So understand that it is hard and confusing. Take your time with it, ask questions, try and get all your paperwork right before you file it. And then the last tip following up with that is perseverance is going to be your best trait here. The biggest impediment to getting a conviction vacated will be that you get tired and frustrated by the process. Something I understand very well. I've been in that situation lots of times, because you may call the court clerk and they'll go, "I don't know what that is. I've never heard of this." Superior Court, generally you're going to have better luck because they're just see more of these. It's more common. But you're going to get folks where they're not familiar with the rules. They don't know what the process is like. They may not know how to read your paperwork. The key here is to persevere. "Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. Well, I need to file it." Or, "I filed it. Let's set a hearing." Show up at a hearing and the judge says the paperwork's filed wrong. "Dang, I guess I'll have to file it again." You have to set a new hearing. If you keep at it, you can get this done. But your biggest hurdle is going to be that it is a frustrating and time-consuming process. Stick with it. You can get through this. So I included this link in the chat, but I'm going to include it again. Here is a Google Drive I've set up with a copy of this PowerPoint, a copy of the Washington Court Forms, which are really just copied off the Washington Court Forms website, a couple of resource guides on how to go through this process. Those resource guides are going to be more specific about here's how you fill out the paperwork. I really hope that you can kind of use this information I've given you tonight in with that. There's a lot of resources available online, but I think that this should get you in a really good place to vacate your felony conviction. Last but not least, I've saved a little time for questions and comments. This is my email address. Feel free to reach out to me. Like I said before, might take me a while to respond to you, but I will respond to any emails I get. I'm happy to give you suggestions and advice and referrals. Looks like nothing in the chat, and we have just one question. Okay, if I am on a DOSA sentence that is 45 months long, can I still be on community custody and attempt to vacate other past charges if it has been 5 years since any convictions and I am financially cleared? Yes, you can. So if each conviction is judged individually, so if you have other convictions that are eligible and you don't have any pending charges, then you can move to vacate those. You can have those vacated. So you should be in a good place to do that, even while you are still in community custody. We have a question saying, so in order to vacate all my LFOs need to be paid. Unfortunately, that is the case. In order to get a certificate of discharge, you need to have paid off your legal financial obligations. This is not going to impact the deadline. So if you pay them off, but you're otherwise eligible, you may be eligible as soon as you've paid them off. But that is the case. Let's see. We have a question saying, I've called several courts and cases are so old, they said just to attach the watch and file motions to the court. I would say, yeah, that is probably true. I've seen that as well. Court records, especially really old court records, sometimes just aren't in a good place. My advice is if you're not able to get the court records, go ahead and try. The worst case scenario is you file the motion and the judge is, if you've got the time and you've got the inclination, go and try it. If they give you a weird answer or you get confused, feel free to send me a question. But yeah, I would say in your situation, give it a try. Can you claim hardship in payment but still apply to vacate? Now, there are situations where some types of LFOs are waivable. For most folks, it's going to be non-restitution. You can claim a hardship in payment and try. I have not seen that successful. But if you've got LFOs that are waivable, or if the conviction's really old, sometimes those LFOs may have expired. It is sometimes worth investigating. How do you get LFOs out of collections? Do you file an LFO motion in court or call the collection agency? My advice would be to call the court. There are sometimes things you can do with collection agencies where you can negotiate with them. But if you're in a situation where you're like trying to waive LFOs or you're going to pay them off, I would say go straight to the court. They're more likely to give you a straight answer, and start there. Yeah, called all the courts and got dates closed in eligible cases, but they're with Collections Alliance. Yeah, collection agencies are terrible. I used to do a lot of work fighting with them. They're really awful to deal with. That's why I said, yeah, if you can go straight to the court, that's the way to do it. You'll have better luck with them. I'm sorry if you have to deal with collection agencies. Can the Department of Corrections CCOs give you certificates of discharge for past convictions? Some sort of community custody. If you're basically still under supervision by the Department of Corrections and you complete all your obligations, they are required to give you a certificate of discharge. But the moment you have completed your supervision, the moment basically the DOC is done with you, they stop paying attention to certificates of discharge and they're not obligated to do anything for you. So now it's on you, which in my experience is basically like 99% of anybody who I ever talked to. If you're one of those lucky folks who was able to complete paying off your fines while you're still under supervision, great. They should give you a certificate of discharge, and then you are just waiting for the time period to elapse. From Facebook, juvenile court in Kitsap is giving me the runaround and now say that $99 is owed and that is so old it can't be paid. How do I pay so the sentence is fulfilled? Cases from 96. Shoot me an email. That sounds weird, but that doesn't surprise me. It's this old cases get weird. I mean, the thing I found with this, and like I mentioned, the courts, this is technically criminal law work, but the courts are all set up to deal with current cases, and this type of work where it's like, let's go look at old case files, they're often not equipped or have less experience dealing with these situations. They don't come up as often. They're not as familiar. They often don't have like lots of hearing times for this. So there are lots of weird situations. They come up constantly. It's kind of why I said like there's your specific situation's always going to be a little off from the general rules. Is there a statute of limitations on LFOs? If you have a legal financial obligation prior to, and I believe it is 1980, there's a specific date, they do eventually expire. But if you have a conviction with LFOs more recent than that, then they don't expire and you're just obligated to either pay them or get them waived. What if you're in prison for different causes and they ran concurrently, but some were longer than others? When does time begin? And does it begin if you finish time in prison but had 5 months on another case, never had probation? So I'm guessing this is a question about like if you have multiple case numbers or multiple charges in the same conviction, those get a little weird. You are eligible to vacate the convictions that are eligible, even if you've got other cause numbers. How the State Patrol would deal with that situation if you are vacating one record but not another, that is a good question. My advice would be try and vacate them anyways. Leave it to the State Patrol to figure out how they're supposed to figure that out on their end. It's possible they will vacate it, but the other case number will still show up on your background check report. But I would say give it a shot if you've got the time. Can I go to a website to help me learn more on how to vacate charges? Yes, you can. Some of those resources were available on the link I posted. civilsurvival.org, our website, has some resources. Washington Law Help. There's a lot of resources available online that'll walk you through the process. And I think if you've watched this and then you go look at one of those manuals, one of those guides, the guides are generally like follow step 1, follow step 2, follow step 3. They can be a little overwhelming. So I hope this video will get you in a better place to be able to read and understand kind of, okay, here's what I need to do now that I know what the general process looks like from above. Who do I contact in order to attempt waiving some or all or even just the interest? So we gave a presentation on Tuesday about that process. There are resources available online and on our website about waiving LFOs. So I would start there. Some resources on that process. One thing you should do just at the first point would be call the court where you have those LFOs, see if they have like usually they have like a finances office, and see if they can send you a printout or a copy of what you owe. They'll have a breakdown of like, here's what restitution, here's what all the different fines and fees are. You can also find some of that information on a copy of your judgment and sentence, but that won't show your interest, which is what you want to look at, because that's going to be the easiest thing to waive. So I can see that Corey is also putting some of these links in the Zoom chat. So is expungement when you were not charged for the crime, but it shows up on background checks? Yeah, basically. So in Washington State, that is a Washington State Patrol. It's basically a form that you can get stake on my background check. This is showing up as a conviction, but it's not a conviction. I was arrested but never charged, but it's still showing up. Now, what I will warn you about that ahead of time is the State Patrol has some requirements on when they need to remove charges and when they don't. And in my experience, if they don't have to remove charges or they think they don't have to remove charges, they're going to say no. But if you have some old arrest that's still showing up, this is a form to basically say, you're making a mistake, please fix it. And that is what expungement is in Washington state. In every other state I've looked at, expungement means the same thing vacating means here. Got LFOs and collections. Yeah, I again, you're going to need to call the financial office and take a look at some of those resources available about making a motion to ask to waive your LFOs. Once they are vacated, do they show up in the courts? Yeah, they do. So they're still gonna, once that conviction is vacated, it still exists out in the court record. This does not touch the court record in any way. So if you go to the court after you vacated a conviction and say, I'd like all the paperwork from case number 123, it's still gonna have the conviction, it's still gonna have the judgment sentence. In fact, it's gonna have more paperwork, it's gonna have all the paperwork you just filed. So it's still out there. And it can still show up in places, but it won't show up in the place that most of the background check companies look. And the other very important thing is if somebody asks you whether you've been convicted of a crime, if you vacated, you're allowed to say, no, I have not. And that is really important because when you're filling out a job application, now you can check, no, I don't have any convictions on my record. If I have a 10-year-old charge, would that qualify automatically for me to try and get it expunged? I can't say that. I don't know. It depends on your situation. Possibly, if it's still showing up, but I would look at the State Patrol's forms. They have a lot of, their instructions are actually pretty good. I will also say, for better or worse, the State Patrol's records department, customer service is really good. I have found that they are generally very responsive if you call and say, hey, I'm trying to find out about XYZ thing on my record. You can also go on the State Patrol's website for their background check service. And if you've got $12, you can just get a copy of your background check from them directly. And this is the same record that background check companies are paying $12 to get on you. You'll get a copy of everything publicly available, and that's a good place to look and see, is this correct or not? It'll also give you stuff like, here's all the case numbers that are going to show up if you want to go vacate something. Can a family law court judge see your record after it's vacated? My ex-husband loves to use my criminal history against me in family court. Can they use it, or does it leave it out of the system? They can see it. The court, it doesn't touch the court record in any way, and they can, the judges, also police officers, State Patrol, they're still going to see these convictions show up. The only thing that this is going to help you with is the general public, people outside the criminal justice system, employers, landlords, credit reporting agencies, that kind of thing. But no, these things will show up in court. And if you have a criminal conviction that you vacate and then later you get charged with a new crime, the prosecutor is legally allowed to say, well, they have this previous conviction. You know, there are situations where that information can come back up in a court setting. This really only is going to help you with those private entities, the public access. Is there a way to get arrests removed from a watch report? Yes, in some situations. So that is the expungement process I talked about. I would recommend you go look at their website. They have a pretty good guide that is like a step-by-step. Is it this type of record? Then we're not going to remove it. Is it this type of record? Then we're not going to remove it. Is it this type of record? Then we might. If I remember correctly, they have a period of time where the State Patrol is allowed to share arrest records as part of your background check report. I want to say it's 2 years, but it might be 3. It'll say on that guide. After that period of time has passed, they are supposed to remove those arrest records. And if they haven't, that is like the #1 situation where you would go file this expungement form. It's free to file. You just basically are sending them a form saying, hey, you made a mistake. This is supposed to be removed. And then they review it. And if they did make a mistake, they will remove it. After it gets expunged, would it be possible to get a guilty plea reversed to a not guilty plea? Yes. So if you vacate a conviction, not only does it remove it from your publicly accessible to not guilty. So yes, that's how that works. So all government agencies would still be able to see convictions. I don't know. I know some can. I just know from experience, I have folks trying to apply to work at DSHS. I know this will show up. Convictions that are vacated are getting marked private, or essentially get marked private on the Washington State Patrol's system so that the general public can't see them. My understanding is this also marks them private on the FBI's national background check system, but any sort of government agency that is allowed to circumvent that can see them. Let's see. Are these presentations from Monday to Friday, recorded and accessible on Facebook for my clients to watch later, especially Tuesdays, yesterday and today's presentation? We will get them, we will make them available to watch. Corey's put the link to the Facebook there. My understanding is these do go up on Facebook. We're going to try and get them on our website. Try and use these to expand our resources. So yeah, I don't know how quickly they go up, but yes. Let's see. Oh, and Corey has shared the WSP expungement. There. Oh yeah, and got some advice in the chat. The DSHS sees everything. Yep, that's been my experience. I don't know if every government agency is that way. My guess is probably any of the ones that work with sensitive issues or sensitive stuff. I know Department of Education was one that came up. Unfortunately, that's just not going to help you there. One thing I have is an open question. I know in King County, they don't seal records, but in other counties, they might. That is something to ask probably the court clerk if when you vacate your conviction, whether there's the possibility of sealing it as well. Depends where you are, whether that's even an option at all. But that's something to think about. We have a question about, I'm trying to become a registered nurse. Do you think a hospital would see my background if it was vacated? I would say with medical professionals, sometimes I don't understand, like I have never gotten a clear picture from my clients who were a lot of them weren't registered nurses. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I don't really have good advice for you there, except to say sometimes they seem to show up. I think that it's because medical businesses sometimes will go directly to the court records to try and find information out about you. I don't know if that is commonplace or it's just one-offs, but it is something that you might want to ask, like a hiring manager, or even better, maybe somebody who works there, because I just don't have a good answer for that. I've seen it all across the board with medical work. Okay, I think that might be it for questions. I got a couple more minutes if anyone has any last ones they want to try and get in. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching tonight. Thank you so much, those of you who were here last night. We have one more webinar for National Expungement Week tomorrow night at the same time. That'll be on Washington State and the issues around marijuana convictions and the disparities of the way that marijuana convictions impact folks here. And again, you have my email address. You can get us on civilsurvival.org. Thank you so much. And everybody have a good night. Have a good weekend.